Hello, everyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful Pesach, and I hope everyone will have a pleasant Shabbos this first Shabbos after Pesach, for Shabbos with Challah and all the chametz that we desire. If you've been away and you'll be returning to Brooklyn for the Shabbos, we look forward to seeing you in Shul and welcome you back. Every Erev Shabbos, we take a moment also to daven for the entire Jewish people, especially for the land of Israel. We continue to daven for the protection, the safety of the entire land of Israel, and of course, those who are fighting on her behalf. And the Erev Shabbos videos of our Torah is sponsored this week by Dr. David Lieberman in prayers for blessing and peace and security in the land of Israel. We thank Dr. Lieberman for the sponsorship. The main drama in this week's Parsha Shemini, is the opening of the Mishkan, and unfortunately, tragically, the sin of Nadav and Avihu. They enter the Holy of Holies, they bring an incense offering, as the Torah says, one for which they were not commanded, and they are struck down immediately by a divine fire that descends and burns them up. And although the pasuk seems to say the sin was that they offered something that God did not command, our sages in the Midrashim and the Gemara offer other aspects, interpretations of aspects of the sin, or explaining the motivation or what lies beneath the surface. And one very interesting opinion, thought-provoking or confusing at first, says that Nadav and Avihu's sin was that they entered the Holy of Holies while drunk, intoxicated from wine. Why would someone have such an interpretation? Well, because immediately after the sin of Nadav and Avihu, Vaydaber Hashem el Aharon limor, God speaks to Aaron, saying, Yayin v'shechar al teisht, b'voachem el oel moed. It is forbidden to drink wine or intoxicating drink when you enter the tent of meeting, the sanctuary, to offer karbanos. Why would Hashem make this command right now, teach this mitzvah? Well, it's because this interpretation maintains, because this was Nadav and Avihu's sin, and in the wake of their sin, Hashem is making this an eternal mitzvah, an eternal prohibition not to enter drunk. However, we must ask, why would Nadav and Avihu enter the Holy of Holies while drunk? Some may suggest, well, it was the day of the opening of the Mishkan, and there were great celebrations, there were great parties, and they had too much to drink. And they walked in drunk, but it's hard to accept that. Nadav and Avihu were of the leaders, the greatest righteous individuals of the Jewish people. In the depiction of Har Sinai, Nadav and Avihu are allowed to ascend Har Sinai to a level beyond almost anyone, just beneath Moshe. Could two such great tzaddikim make such a callous mistake, to become drunk and then irreverently walk into the Holy of Holies? It is hard to accept. And therefore we suggest the opposite, that it was not a mistake. They did not just get drunk and then walk in, but just the opposite. They purposefully became intoxicated because they thought that is the way to reach the highest states of spiritual ecstasy. They thought that if one really wants to touch God, so to speak, you have to lose yourself. You have to obliterate all boundaries. You have to go in with no inhibition, and you have to just allow yourself to be absorbed into this universal state of ecstasy. As certain Eastern religions and philosophies believe that our goal is to nullify ourselves and become of this state of perfected nirvana. That is what Nadav and Avihu thought. But here's where Hashem and the Torah said that is wrong. That is not the way of the Torah. That is not the way of Judaism. That if you do that, then you will just be destroyed. You will just be obliterated by divine fire. And just the opposite, it is forbidden to enter the sanctuary while drunk. And this is the basis for even today. The same idea applies today. It is forbidden to daven, to stand before God, to talk to him while drunk. Not because you may make a mistake, because it is disrespectful, but because Hashem is saying, when you come and stand before me, I want you to connect to me when you're in control of your faculties, when you can think and speak thoughtfully, consciously, purposefully, when you do not just lose yourself, but you find yourself and you present yourself, your unique individual self. Hashem does not seek a mass ecstasy that erases all individuals. No, Hashem is saying, I want each person to approach me in their individuality, in control of their uniqueness, and being able to present that to me with their own conscious, controlled thoughts, to present ourselves to Him, to be able to speak and think clearly and profoundly and present to Hashem our deepest identity. And a person cannot do that when they are drunk. And so this prohibition not to drink wine for a Kohen before he enters the Beis Hamikdash, or today for each of us not to daven while in a state of inebriation. It's not just because, oh, that is disrespectful, or you won't say the words clearly. No, there's something much more profound. Here is where the Torah is saying, I do not seek a mass nirvana, a universal state that doesn't allow room for any individual person, just the opposite. I care about every individual person, that each person has a unique way to serve Hashem, to contribute, to talk to Hashem, to connect to Hashem. And Hashem is saying that every time you daven and the way you live your life in general, that is what I want. Hashem says, I value each of you. I love each of you, and that is what I want you to present to me when you serve me. Good Shabbos, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom.